Hello everybody, it's Game Boy 10 here, intended by White, unleaves me a serious Brazilian, whatever y'all call me. I already messed up, Jesus Christ. First thing I want to mention is my lips. I hate my lips right now. I hate doing commentaries with them, but I wanted to do it today. Today is kind of an important day because I believe, well, yesterday was the important day, but today is the important day. In my standards, I actually didn't get to watch the PS4 stuff until now. I did not watch the live stream, but I did watch the main trailer that was like a minute long, and I watched the PSN experience or whatever it was. That was like 5.5 minutes or something. And my honest opinion on it, let's begin. So, as most people know, I don't like Sony at all. I rip shit on them, and I'm probably going to do it again. Because the very first thing I noticed, there was a lot of things I noticed right off the bat, but one of the ones that really caught my attention was the share button, and I found out about the built-in capture card and stuff. They are totally, absolutely doing exactly what Nintendo did, and you know what? I fucking talk about PlayStation taking shit from Nintendo's consoles all the fucking time, and you know what? I'm sorry, but they did it again. They're making another Miiverse, and if it's not clear enough, watch the trailer again. Well, not the trailer, the 5-minute video. Watch that again. They clearly speak about how they're gonna have you record stuff, and you can share it with multiple different areas, which means that they're probably going to have a service such as Miiverse, but for like the PlayStation community. And I think that's total fucking bullshit. Now, if they can do it on Facebook and that's what they mean, then okay, by all means, that's an excellent thing to do. And I mean, I would definitely want that on my console. But the reason for having a capture card in there is still way beyond me, especially if you're gonna have high-graded graphics. Like, I heard about the really strong graphics card in it and whatnot, and I'm pretty sure it only has like half the RAM of the Xbox 720 is supposed to be rumored for, which is 4 gigs of RAM. Now, I'm probably wrong, but I've heard that it was 4 gigs of RAM. It's either 2 or 4, something like that. I think it's 4, though. And the problem with that is, it's fast, but to be able to do that with the high-grade graphics and the capture card going, that's gonna make your games pretty slow, if you ask me. If they can still pull it off, then okay, good job. But I'm just saying that's kind of gonna be a problem. Especially once you've downloaded multiple games, that thing's gonna wear off eventually. The other thing that's going to be a really big problem with PlayStation 4 is the used games thing, where used games will now actually not be playable on other consoles, only their consoles that they were originally purchased from. So this is going to put a lot of companies out of business that actually do rentals, such as, I believe the name is Redbox, something like that, which is in Canada. There's also, I don't know if Blockbuster is still available in the US, but I know it's been down in Canada for ages. Like, it's been closed down due to Netflix, which is strange because, you know, Blockbuster also did game rentals. So anyway, there was also a few online websites that would do game rentals, which is now a bust because now they can't do the rentals. So there's a big problem, there's a big gap in that. So the only way to get rentals is for older games or getting Wii U games or the 720 games, depending on whether or not they go the same route as PlayStation. So that's a big problem. It's a big gap because now a lot of companies are not going to want to work with you because you're now doing all these little extra things that might cause some problems. Another thing that I noticed, now this is probably just because it's such an early piece of development, but there was not very many third-party companies. I did not recognize anybody. There was one company, I believe it was the ones who made that game, fuck, I forget what it's called right now. It's like Spy Dogs or something. I fucking forget. I always forget, I'm sorry. Those people who make that game actually they are in there, I think, but the rest of the companies, I had no fucking clue who any of these people were. Most of them were like CEOs of all the Sony companies around the world, but I didn't see any third-party companies in there, which the Wii U one, even in the 2011 videos, those were third-party companies all over the fucking place. So, realistically here, I think Nintendo has the third-party side on their, in retrospective. With Xbox 720 in the way, though, maybe that's going to cause third-party companies to want to move to that as well, but we'll have to see. Right now, though, it looks like Sony's kind of in a dark side at the moment. I also noticed a few other things. They tried to go for kind of an Apple style with their video. Now, what I mean by that is the company Apple, with their very simplistic image and very simplistic tones, all that good stuff. They seem to be using that in this trailer, which brings me to believe that maybe they're starting to think, well, maybe our console is too not too great for many consumers. Maybe some consumers may find things confusing. I personally didn't find anything confusing besides things such as why half the shit I want to work will not work, such as when I'm trying to record on an HD recorder, it will not work with HDMI and must be composite cables. That's something that confuses me. Well, perhaps they're going to fix that, and now it's going to be HDMI compatible. Using this this idea of simplistic image and things like that, maybe they'll get more people into purchasing PlayStation 4, which is perfectly fine. Simplicity never hurt anyone. In fact, it might be better because it would be easier to learn from. However, some people don't enjoy simplicity, such as people who enjoy the Samsung Galaxy or the BlackBerry Z10. A lot of that is not exactly simple like an iPhone is or a Google Nexus. These phones are much more simple, and some people like to be able to have all these extra little advanced settings, which the other phones do have. And in this case, they're more difficult to work with, but they give you much better options at the end of the day. So maybe this might be a bad idea, but I don't know what they're trying to go for this. But they even said in their trailer that the console is simple to use, and the share button is going to be as simple as anybody can do it, which is very hard to believe, but that's literally a quote in the video. That well, not an exact quote, but they basically say that they assume that anybody can use the share option, which we'll have to see. Rightfully so. It's gonna happen. I probably wouldn't be surprised if everybody could use it. The other thing that kind of bothered me though is this auto editing kind of deal. They were talking about how you have to go and edit the video and upload it and all that bullshit. And they were talking about how you don't really have to do that so much anymore because it's going to be so easy as to record it and then upload it. Now, do they mean that you're going to be able to... is it going to automatically edit itself? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And these people who have purchased recorders, such as T. Martin and Woody's Gamertag, are they really going to be using this built-in capture card? Is it really that great of quality? These are questions that come up, and I mean, especially with people who are more interested in Microsoft consoles, a lot of these people will now be possibly going to PlayStation consoles, assuming that this capture card is good quality and does not slow down your games. All these things come into fruition, and we'll have to see what happens, but out of what I gathered, all the other shit that they were talking about was pretty much fucking gibberish, and it clearly was. The controller itself looks really strange, and I like how they went to their original style and they kept it the same without being super bulky. I also found it strange that they actually resorted to a controller similar to the 3DS with the sticks, very similar to the 3DS, which is not something I'm a big fan of because it's very strange grips that you can slide off of. The texture seems to look similar, but that's just because, again, camera tricks and whatnot, so maybe it'll be a good grip, we'll have to see. It kind of almost might be an Xbox 360 kind of feel. Then the sensor on the top. Some people are calling it a touchscreen, but I believe it's just a sensor. And this will be better for more virtual reality control, or, well, not virtual reality, motion control. That's what I meant to say. And if it is touchscreen, which they didn't confirm in either video, it would be kind of interesting to see what they're gonna go with that, because again, the Wii U has already done that, so they're taking shit from Nintendo once again. But if they're doing sensor stuff, it's also kind of leaning towards where the Wii U went, considering that now you got this fucking big block thing in the way. We'll have to see what happens, because it really won't be that great. It'll probably be quickly obsolete, because of the lack of games that the PlayStation Move had to begin with, as well as Kinect. The only console that really shined with the motion controls was the Wii, because it actually had good exclusive games. Therefore, it had good motion controls. The problem with the PlayStation and the Sony console, or the Sony and the Microsoft consoles, is what I meant to say. The problem with their consoles is that they don't have too many exclusive games that actually work good for motion control, because they're all fucking shooting and racing games. But anyway, let's just move on. The point is this console did not really impress me with these trailers. Once I see the live show, I'll probably be more interested in what its capabilities are. Once I get my hands on one to just try one out, I'll probably see what happens, but at the moment, I'm not very interested in what I've been seeing. I have to be honest, I'm kind of excited to see what Microsoft has to come to play with, but if it's going to be paid for internet again, I might think about moving towards the Sony console, just because of the built-in graphics card, but I've heard that Microsoft is thinking about doing the same thing. So I think PlayStation and Microsoft have clearly been coming to a point where they're just fucking knocking heads on each other. It's just a fucking horseplay, ridiculous pile of shit, while once again Nintendo sits alone in an innocent little box. Which is perfectly fine, again, because Nintendo should be its own little process anyway. It really, it's not that it doesn't stand a chance, it's that it's its own fucking console. It really is, compared to the other two. It's not comparable because of how much of a difference it is. And only certain people can enjoy that difference. Not many people enjoy difference, and that's just the way society is. But let's not get into that, because this video is going to be too long. Anyways, thank you for watching, rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Hopefully you enjoyed this video.